government in 2015 released the Climate Leadership Plan, which is a very ambitious and complex policy initiative involving considerable revenues and expenses to the government and a lot of significant impacts to Albertans as far as benefits and costs. So we felt it was very important for us to look at the systems in place in order to implement the Climate Leadership Plan, the monitoring of the implementation, as well as the reporting on the results. So we specifically looked at various systems that they used in order to help plan the implementation of the Climate Leadership Plan. The way that the Climate Change Office, as the lead and coordinator for the entire government, facilitating how departments all played their role in implementing the Climate Leadership Plan. We looked at how the Climate Change Office was pulling together information to monitor the progress as far as implementing the leadership plan, as well as whether or not they were reporting to Albertans on the progress that they were making. So we found that generally the Climate Change Office had adequate systems in place in order to facilitate the planning, monitoring, and reporting of the Climate Leadership Plan. We found that where there could be some improvement is having a coordinated implementation plan. Given that there's many different departments involved in the implementation, that is an important tool to bring together, what are the broader objectives, the goals, timelines, resources needed, and how it'll be measured going forward. So one consolidated plan would be an important mechanism for oversight. As far as monitoring, even though there was a lot of information that was being collected, we felt that there was improvements that could be made around the efficiency of that, given that this is something that's going to be a process that's going to be continually occurring, that there was ways to make that more efficient, as well as ensuring that the information management is complete, accurate, as far as their ongoing decision making and monitoring when it comes to implementing the Climate Leadership Plan. And finally, with reporting, we found that the Climate Change Office did release a very comprehensive and detailed progress report, which was very important. A report on climate change strategy hadn't been ever released, and so this was an important step. However, we did feel that a more all-encompassing look at the total benefits and total costs would be useful going forward for Albertans. So if the progress report is the vehicle in which Albertans are going to be communicated with, that they have an ongoing insight into the benefits and costs of the Climate Leadership Plan. So obviously, climate change, the Climate Leadership Plan impacts the government and Albertans in many different ways. The Climate Leadership Plan results in the collection of revenues and considerable revenues, and as well as expenses in order to implement and to carry out the Climate Leadership Plan. So Albertans really need to know and have confidence that that those processes are being managed appropriately, that the results are being monitored, and that any successes or areas for improvement are being communicated back to Albertans. So I believe that the Climate Change Office, given the nature of the Climate Leadership Plan, the extent of it and how significant it is, has actually done a good job in putting in some of the initial systems in order to facilitate success. There are areas for improvement as the Climate Leadership Plan is implemented, but I think through ongoing effective monitoring processes and reporting back to Albertans, that'll allow Albertans insights into the ongoing management of that and whether the government's successful in achieving the desired results.